I just want to show you the destruction of a mother's love because you've been lied to. I have had so many men and women who have told me and are still telling me that they still live with their mother after 18. And I asked why. Well, she told me I should stay here and save my money. She's telling you that so she can destroy you, suck life out of you. Because everyone knows life is not just about money, it's about growing up, getting away from mama's skirt tail and becoming a man or a woman by dealing with the issues of life. But mama don't want you to grow up because you may wake up and she can no longer use you, control you, make you feel guilty, make you feel like wherever you are, she got to be there. A mother's love is evil. And a lot of people are afraid to admit it because they feel guilty. And I want you to know a guilt feeling is a false identity. It's not even real. It's another identity you have attached yourself to, believing that it's real. And you start saying that to yourself, and life and death is in the power of the tongue. If you call yourself these things, you are those things, and you're destroying yourself. If you don't call yourself those things, you will not identify with those things, and you will have life. Those are evil identities. So you heard about Marlon Wayne. He just loved his mama. He put her on her deathbed. He said to her how much he loved her, and she pulled him over to her before she died. And those are his last words. And mama died with a smile because she knew she stole the heart, the soul of her son, working on behalf of evil. His soul, I don't know what he's doing now, but at that point had not returned to the Father. In order to live, you must die spiritually of the ego, the not you death that comes through the mother. I want to give you another quick example of what a mother's love will do to you. Because it is evil, it is not love. You're calling evil love. You're calling hate love. Because it feels good. It just feels good. Feeling good is evil. Some of you might have heard of this story from NBC. Disgraced R&B superstar R. Kelly was sentenced Wednesday to 30 years in prison. Step. He's received 30 years in prison, months after he was convicted on all 9 counts of a high-profile sex trafficking case. Watch this from BBC.
American singer R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison by a US federal court in New York after he was found guilty of sexually abusing women, boys and girls for decades. The 55-year-old singer was convicted of all 9 counts against him in the sex trafficking trial, which took place in September.
Used his inner circle to exploit minors, women and men. They all came from varied backgrounds, but were similar in their adoration for Kelly. Once under his control, he required them to follow a degrading set of rules. They had to call him daddy, and they weren't permitted to leave their rooms for any reason without his permission. He also directed every aspect of the sexual abuse with him and others, and recorded many of the instances.
Amazing. A mama's love. Every human being that love their mother is evil, and it awakens all types of spirits inside of your nature. I want you to hear. You heard what happened there, right? I don't know if it's true or not, but you heard what happened. But I want you to see where that came from. A mother's love. ABC, and The Sun. Over the years, Kelly has opened up about his mother. She was a single parent raising 4 children on Chicago South Side. Watch this from GQ.
My mom, my family, though we had not much of anything, we had family, we had us, we had love. I became closer to my mom. Me and my mom would go to McDonald's and before she'd go to work, before I go to school, and she would get us a Danish. It's all we could afford is a Danish and a cup of coffee, and we would split the Danish and cup of coffee. She had this cheap lipstick, and she would taste the coffee to make sure it was sweet enough. And she'd leave the ring of lipstick on the coffee from which she tasted the coffee. And I remember when she would give me mine, when I would sip from the cup, I would turn it around, and I would drink from her lipstick part. Because in a son-mother way, I had a serious crush on my mom because she could sing her butt off. And I just looked up and down to her. I looked around, I looked everything about my mother. You know, I loved her. And I even asked her to marry me one day. I was like, nah. She said no. But you know what? I understood. I understood it. I took it well.
Amazing. That's why he did what he did. It was hatred of the mother. He had been corrupted with her spirit, which is not her spirit, it's the spirit of evil. And this is what's wrong with every human being on this side of heaven. When it is said in the word that all must be born again, this is what it's talking about. To overcome the spirit of the mother, which is the spirit of evil. Satan is the woman's god until she's born of the father. And this is why you need fathers in the homes with the mothers to protect their children. But the father got to be born again too, so he can deal with the hell in the mother in the right way and bring her out of her hell. Or at least point the way. He can't make her come out of it. But this is what's destroying the children. And you're crazy, blind, and foolish if you think that is anything else but that. If you think it's racism, if you think it's some type of ism, then you are blind too by your mother's love, which is evil. He would drink the coffee from the mama's cup, turn it around to where she was drinking, where her lipstick marks were, and drink from that side. He asked his mama to marry him. All that is evil, and the mother did it to him. She did that to him, and he grew in that nature and ended up in trouble. The Sun is reporting Joanne Kelly, R. Kelly's mother, died of cancer in 1993. Here's R. Kelly talking about the death of his mother. Watch this from GQ.
I had no idea she had cancer. I had no idea she was even sick. I see the pastor with my mother, I see the doctors. All I can say is, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what else to say. I said, first of all, I love you and I thank you for everything you have done. And I'm sorry for every time I've been bad or did something I wasn't supposed to do. And I promise you. And she died right there. But I finished my sentence. I said, I promise you, Mama, no matter what, by any means necessary, I will be one of the best singers, songwriters. This world has ever seen. And I'm still on a journey today. I owe it to my mom to fulfill that promise, just to be one of the best.
And yet he became a good singer, it appears, but he never found peace. He didn't find peace. But he made a promise to his God, Mama, that I'm going to be the best singer, Mama. I'm going to be just like you. Not a promise that, Mama, I'm sorry for resenting you. I'm going to overcome you. But I'm going to be even more like you, Mama. And now it has destroyed at least his physical life for now. And women are being pushed in every aspect of life now. In the homes, in the schools, the government, everything, doctors, so-called doctors and everything. Because evil knows, and the ones who are bringing these women in and replacing them with men, they know that this evil is coming through the woman. And they need to control the people because they're evil, and they're using the woman for that purpose. And they're using the blacks as well. And not just the black, everybody. Anybody that's got anger, has anger, being used. And you're being used for evil's sake, not for good. Hopefully these guys and ladies who are stuck will hear the message of, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. Forgive your mamas for recreating you in her image and turning you away from your earthly father, and as a result of that, turning you away from God. And one other thing about R. Kelly, here, this is from Wikipedia. He is talking about his father. Wikipedia reported the identity of his father, R. Kelly, the identity of his father, who was absent from Kelly's life and later raised 2 children, is not known. Watch this from GQ.
My past is so strongly embedded in my head, and I don't know how I looked past all of that and made it to where I am today, but I'm, wanting a father, not having a father, first of all, it's automatically something missing in your life. There's no doubt about that. I always felt half. I always felt a hole in the situation. Though my mother was a mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, and everything to me, but I never understood why my father was not with, my mother. That was just something as a child I didn't understand.
Every human being has that hole in them. Something is missing. No matter how close you're supposed to be to your mother, you still have that void, that hole, that something is missing. And what is missing is the love of your father. Mama's love is so wicked, ain't no way it's going to fill that hole, because only a father can do that. And when you forgive your mother and love your father, that hole will disappear. I used to have that as a kid. I wanted my father like something was missing. Even though I had everything I wanted. R. Kelly said he think he made it. He did not make it. He became a little singer, but that's not making it. He became a singer like Mama, but that's not making it. You got to overcome. You got to return to the Father. Ain't no way around it. You must be born again. Every human being. And last but not least, here's another example of hating your mama. And mama destroying your life by imposing her evil will upon you. Even a nice mother is a wicked mother. This is from Outkick. A mother's love is evil, folks. Women don't have love. That spirit that's working through them is a deceiver. It feels what you think love is, but it's not. Love is not a feeling. That's why it doesn't work. When men and women get married, what do? They fight for that love because that phony feeling disappears. It's not love, it's hate. It disguises itself as love. One last quick one. This is from Outkick. In case you still don't believe me, what a mother's love would do to children, to anyone. This is from Outkick. Former NFL player Sergio Brown has been arrested, charged with mother's murder. Medical examiners determined Myrtle Brown had died after suffering injury in an assault. Watch this from WGN.
After traveling to Mexico and being spotted in several videos online, Sergio Brown is now back on U.S. soil. Brown, pictured here in his mugshot, is now in custody in San Diego. According to Maywood police, he was arrested while trying to return from Mexico. Brown had a warrant for his arrest out for the death of his mother, Myrtle Simmons Brown. On September 16th, 73-year-old Myrtle Simmons Brown, described as a woman with a contagious smile and personality, was found murdered near the Addison Creek behind the Maywood home police say she and Sergio shared. The report also indicates that on September 15th, an officer tracked a cell phone to suburban Bolingbrook, but then the phone was turned off.
Amazing, huh? He down in Mexico. Oh, la mama. Oh, la mama is dead. Every human being hates their mothers, and they call it love. And every mother hates her child, and she calls it love. And this is what happens. Love is not a feeling. So in closing for right now on this, if you want to be free, you must be born again. You must return to the Father. Forgive your mother for what she's done. She couldn't help it. Her mother passed that spirit down to her, and so on from generation to generation. It's in her. It's in her nature until she's born again of the Father. Ain't no way out, folks. And I understand most are not going to take it. Few will, but most won't. Stay in your hell. This is what you're going to get. This is all you'll ever get out of life is misery. Stay in your hell, and all you will ever get is misery. No matter where you live, how much money you have, whatever you think you are, you're miserable. Because you have not forgiven your mothers and returned to your father. And forgiven your father for not protecting you. It ain't physical, it's spiritual. You are a spirit. That spirit that living in your mama is a spirit. It's an evil spirit. And it's passed through her to you and corrupting your innocence. And they blame it on everybody else and everything else except the spirit of the mother. The mother's spirit is protected because it's evil. And ladies, mothers, you can overcome too. You got to forgive your mothers.